Doctor Who has been running for over 50 years despite a 15-year gap, and has gained a rank of the biggest show in television history, with the fandom spread throughout the world. So, how did this all start? Well, it all kicked off on a dark, cloudy night on the 23rd November 1963, where viewers were materialized through time and space for the next 50 years. An Unearthly Child, the first ever Doctor Who serial, also known as The Tribe of Gum and 10,000 BC. It first broadcast on BBC television in 4 parts that will air for 2 fortnights, from the 23rd November to the 14th December 1963. Now it is time to find out about the episode's production. It was in 4 parts. The first part was called An Unearthly Child, aired on the 23rd November 1963. That airs for 23 minutes 24 seconds with exactly 4.4 million viewers. Followed by The Cave of Skulls, aired in 13th November 1963. That lasts 24 minutes 26 seconds with an amazingly shocking 5.9 million views. The third part was called The Forest of Fear, that aired on the 7th December 1963 for 23 minutes 38 seconds with a brilliant 6.9 million views. That then changed to 6.4 million views in the final serial, The Firemaker, that lasts 24 minutes 22 seconds on the 14th December 1963. An Unearthly Child was originally commissioned from writer Anthony Coburn in June 1963, when it originally was planned as the second serial of the first series. The first serial was planned to be called The Giants, to be written by BBC staff head scriptwriter C.E. Webber, who was involved in the brainstorming meetings which had led to the creation of Doctor Who and had co-written the initial format document for the series. In the middle of June, Wilson and Doctor Who's initial caretaker producer Rex Tucker decided to drop the planned serial The Giants. This was partly decided because it was felt the serial lacked the necessary impact for an opener, and of the technical requirements needed. Due to lack of scripts ready for the show's production, it was decided to move Coburn's serial up to first place in the running order. Responsibility for getting Doctor Who off the ground was handed to producer Verity Lambert and the script editor David Whittaker, which neither of them were greatly impressed with the serial as the opener, and Anthony Coburn was asked to carry out major rewrites.
One of our pupils, Susan Foreman, came into this yard.
Really? In here? Are you sure?
Yes. We saw her from across the street.
One of their pupils, not the police then.
I beg your pardon?
Why were you spying on her? Who are you?
An Unearthly Child serial title was changed temporarily a number of times, such as The Tribe of Gum, which was an early working title which was used up until the beginning of recording. It was then changed to The Paleolithical Age, which was used by producer Verity Lambert in a letter to a viewer in late 1965. The next title was The Stone Age. That was used on a biography listing on a publicity release for a later story in late 1965, and also known as 10,000 BC. Now it's time to look at the broadcast details. The first ever episode was transmitted at 5:16 p.m. on Saturday, 23rd November 1963. The assassination of JFK on the previous day overshadowed the launch of a new television series. It has been written that the transmission was delayed by 10 minutes due to extended news coverage. The first episode was repeated a week later on the 13th November, preceding the second episode, The Cave of Skulls. After that, everything went to normal of the serial. Then later, on the 15th October 1981, published by Target Books and written by Terence Dix, the Unearthly Child serial was made into a book. The cover design was created by Andrew Skilleter. A French-language version of the novelization was made. A 1990 German edition published by Goldman was one of 6 Doctor Who novels from the publisher, and was the only one not to feature the Daleks. It was the first Target novelization to feature the neon logo, and early editions featured a red foil logo. Now, who are the people who put this show together? Let's find out. The serial was written by Anthony Coburn and C.E. Weber in episode 1, which was never credited. It was directed by Waris Hussein and by Douglas Cranfield, who did film inserts and who was also never credited. The script was edited by David Whittaker and was produced by Verity Lambert and involved Mervyn Pinfield as an associate producer, with no executive producers. The incidental music composer was Norman Kay, but the theme was created by Ron Grainer. This serial starred 9 actors, and the characters including William Hartnell, Carol Ann Ford, Jacqueline Hill, and William Russell. Now that you know everything of the serial, from episode titles to book published versions, there is one big thing you should know: the story plot. It starts in a junkyard in contemporary London and introduces 4 characters who were to form the core of the first year's production. Susan is precious but seems to have strange ways and understandings of the world. 2 school teachers, Ian Chesterton and Barbara Wright, spy on her to address a junkyard in Totters Lane, which they there encounter a police public call box known as the TARDIS. From within, they hear Susan's voice, but an old grandfatherly type person discovers them as they try to bargain their way into the TARDIS. But this old box proves to be no ordinary police box when Barbara, followed by Ian, run into the TARDIS, discovering it is bigger on the inside. The interior contains a time rotor with futuristic-looking controls. Due to the grumpiness of the Doctor, he decides to take Ian and Barbara for a flight in space and time, taking them to the Stone Age. So, we hope we have fed your mind with information of this, the first ever Doctor Who serial, and join us next time when the Doctor and his soon-to-become companions face one of the biggest enemies of the universe, the Daleks.
Woo!